afternoon, everybody. Hello, Dog Mom. Hello, Vera Ray, Mel W. How is everybody? Please smash that like button so everybody knows that we have gone live. So today we are going to be covering, I'm hoping that this is going to be streamed live. If not, I do have somebody that I'm following that's in the courtroom, and I will bring you up to date what's going on in the courtroom. Hello, Keta. Hello, Titan. Case Ben, Joanne. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining. So it's hello, Anna Marie from Denver. Shannon, hello. AAG, hello. Oh, hope you're having a great vacay. Hello, Evelyn. So we are hoping that this is still going to be, there she is. There's my sister. Say hello, everybody. Like I said, I will be checking all these different places that I have open here. To check and see. It's supposed to start in about 5 minutes, so I should know whether this is going live or not. Like I said, hopefully you guys, if you hear me clicking, it's because I'm jumping around on everything just to see if this is going live. So I can jump over to it right away. Hello, Mama Bear. Hello, Keta. Betty Smith, Capel, Lady D. Hello, everybody. And welcome. Okay, you guys that are here, hello, Yum. I'm going to let you know for today only, there is a 15% off discount. There's Leland. Oh my gosh, Leland, how are you? I'm so glad you popped in. We have been sending prayers and praying for you. We love you. I hope that you are feeling better. I am sorry for the loss of your parents. Everybody on the channel was sending you love and prayers. It is so good to see you. Let me just jump over here. So there's Leland, everybody. If you remember, I asked a while back for you guys to say some prayers and send Leland some love. He's having a rough go right now. He's recently lost both parents to COVID. And he's battling a deadly disease himself. So I'm so happy that you could be here, Leland. So nice to see you. We've missed you. There's some more love for you, Leland. Thank you, you guys. Leland's just got a heart of gold, you guys. The most caring person that you can ever think of. There you go. I'm getting through it one day at a time. That's all you can do, my love. One day at a time, and keep your chin up, stay positive, and know that we are all thinking about you and praying for you and wishing you nothing but the best. So just know that we are all thinking of you. There you go. Leland, lots of love for Leland. Thank you, you guys, so much. As a group, we can pray hard and show him our love and let him know that we are thinking of him. I haven't seen you in so long, so it is so nice to see you back in here, Leland. So like I said, you guys, if you hear me clicking, it's only because I'm refreshing things to see if I have anything updated here. So please bear with me while I do that. Okay. Well, you're pretty amazing too, Leland. So, like I said, you've got everybody here sending you love and prayers. We are all thinking about you. Here you go. We love you more. Judy, I'm so sorry to hear that, and thank you for the condolences for Leland. And yeah, it's scary because they're saying even though you're vaccinated, you can still get it. So please be safe out there, you guys. Keep your fingers crossed, you guys, that this is going to be streamed. We know that they never start on time, so I'm hoping they are just running a little bit behind and that this is going to be streamed. There we go. Okay, you guys, I've got it live here. Let me just start sharing my screen for you.
Chat guy Daybell. Mr. Daybell's here present, represented by his attorney, John Pryor. The state's here represented, Mr. Wood, Ms. Smith, Ms. Blake, Ms. Rawlings. I'd also note Mr. Archibald, who is a co-defendant's counsel, is present as well for the hearing. We're conducting this by Zoom. We are recording this on the court's FTR system and the Zoom software. We're also live streaming this on the YouTube channel of the Idaho Supreme Court for this court in order to allow public access for this hearing. We've got two matters on the docket today. One is a scheduling conference. The other is a motion hearing on Mr. Daybell's case. Counsel, before we get started with the scheduling conference, are there any initial matters we need to bring up?
Your Honor, the state had intended to ask essentially to speak in chambers or approach. Of course, that's a little bit different on the Zoom hearings, but there are a few issues that we believe need to be discussed off the record prior to moving forward with the motion.
Okay, why don't we bring that up at such time as we are ready to start the motion, then we take a break and have a breakout room set up. Are we able to proceed at this time with the scheduling conference?
I think we are, Your Honor. I would also indicate, it's my understanding co-counsel Mr. Means is also present. I believe with the scheduling conference, the court's indication has been this is one trial, but I think the state is ready to proceed with the scheduling conference.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Blake. And I'll also note, I do see it looks like Mr. Means is appearing telephonically. And with the case currently scheduled for joint trials between the two defendants, I think it is appropriate if counsel for the co-defendant, Ms. Valo Daybell, are present, although the court would note that case continues to be stayed pursuant to Idaho Code 18212, pending restoration of competency of that defendant. So with that in mind, I would like to start off with our scheduling conference. Counsel, I'll start off with the state with proposals on when we can get this case on the trial calendar. Then I'll ask the defense. We've had some discussion about this prior to today. I understand the request, as I learned from previously was for approximately 8 weeks to be scheduled for the trial. So I'd like to first confirm if that's the proposal on the amount of time being requested, and then let's look at dates when we can get this matter set. So Mr. Wood, why don't I start with you? Is the 8-week time frame still what the state would be requesting to try this matter?
I think that's appropriate, Your Honor.
Okay,
If any of my co-counsel disagrees, that's fine. I think 8 weeks for at least the trial. I don't know if that includes jury, picking a jury or not.
Your Honor, can we stop for just a second? For some reason, I'm getting a lot of feedback and I can't mute my YouTube. There we go. We're good.
okay, thanks. If you run into that issue again, just let me know. In terms of setting, I would like it to include, of course, jury selection.
I think to be safe, then, Your Honor, we would say 10 weeks.
Okay. Mr. Pryor, before we set dates, then what are your thoughts on a 10-week trial setting? Do you think that's too much, not enough, or just right?
Judge, I took the liberty of examining what Mr. Wood and Ms. Blake and Ms. Smith have disclosed to me in terms of their witnesses at this point. And I did some planning, and then I coordinated that with the witnesses that I anticipate calling. And there is obviously some significant overlap with those witnesses. I anticipate about a 1 week to pick a jury, and I expect about 7 weeks in terms of testimony to the conclusion of the trial. So I would politely disagree with Mr. Wood, and I think that, quite frankly, a 6-week time frame should be appropriate.
All right, I may have missed the math there, Mr. Pryor. I thought you said 1 week for a jury and 7 weeks for
6 weeks, Judge, total.
6 weeks
Sorry.
total.
If I said 7, then I misspoke, and I apologize for that. I think total of 6 weeks would be sufficient, Judge, total, including selection of jury.
Okay. Well, my thought is schedule it out as long as we need, and we can always conclude the trial early and then fill our calendars in as we see that happening. But I'd rather not run out of time and have other settings. As everyone is aware, you all have other caseloads. As the court has another full docket of cases in the 3 counties I cover as well. So my thought is to err on the side of caution. And let me just go back to you, Mr. Wood. After hearing that, are you still thinking 10 weeks would be a necessary time frame in order to get this tried?
Yes, Your Honor, and from the state's perspective, that's built in with caution. Hopefully, it doesn't go that long, but just to be safe, so that we don't run into other scheduling issues.
Okay. Well, based on that, I will set it for 10 weeks. We'll, of course, do our best to move the trial along and as efficiently as possible and use the time we have. Hopefully, it wouldn't take that long, but if it does, again, I'd rather have that schedule set out in advance than run into having to emergency move other hearings because we went over. So with that in mind, then, Mr. Wood, what is the state thinking in terms of when you'd be able to be prepared to put your case on and start the trial?
Your Honor, the state, again, is going to take an abundance of precaution approach. What we don't want to do is schedule a trial and then have parties moving to continue it. We'd ask that the trial be set in September of 2023.
September of 2023, so a year and 10 months.
Yes.
Mr. Pryor, what are the thoughts on behalf of your client for starting the trial?
Well, Judge, I guess what I'm doing is I'm presuming that since Mr. Daybell's been in jail for about a year and a half, Mr. Wood has probably provided me all of the discovery. At least I would hope he has by this time. I know I just got a recent batch again, a 3rd supplemental last week. But I would think after all of this time before charging Mr. Daybell, he would have had all of the discovery gathered and he would have provided it to me by now. So taking that into consideration and assuming that they're not going to drop any more surprises on me. I have my expert witnesses lined up. I have what I need to do. I will be disclosing all of my witnesses to Mr. Wood shortly. And my preference is to start the trial in October of 22.
All right, well, obviously, there's a big difference here. The court also has some duty here to administrate my caseload and manage it in consideration of all parties here in the nature of this case. I did look at a lot of different factors, including the in custody status of the defendant in this case. I understand there was a waiver of speedy trial. However, there is still an obligation of this court to provide a trial as soon as possible, especially and in particular where defendants remain in custody. September 2023, quite frankly, seems really distant for me. And I guess, Mr. Wood, I would like some additional information about why the state believes an almost 2-year delay from now until the time of trial would be necessary. Can you give me some explanation as to why we would need to wait that long?
Partly, one, Your Honor, is an abundance of caution. Two, as we've looked at other similar cases, very high-profile, complicated cases, these trials usually take 2 to 3 years to get. These cases usually take 2 to 3 years to get to trial. We have a lot of issues with taking care of if we are going to over to Ada County. That is an extremely tedious thing for the state to have to do. That's not something that can happen overnight. So there's a lot of factors, Your Honor. It's going to take a lot of time for the state to coordinate that. That's why we're asking for that time. And again, we think with that date, it's not going to get continued. It goes. Everyone's ready to go. I would quickly note, Your Honor, where it is still a joint trial, like the state thinks it would be appropriate to ask Mrs. Daybell's counsel when they think trial would be appropriate.
Okay, and I guess I will inquire. However, obviously that's very speculative because no one knows when competency may be established. But Mr. Archibald, do you have any thoughts on when you may be prepared for trial, or other than speculation as to when you may have a competent client?
No timeline as to when she may be restored to competency. Those are issues that we can talk about privately. And as far as the trial being set either a year or 2 years from now, it does take some time for mitigation, the process with mitigation specialists and investigators. That process has not started yet because of her incompetency, and whether or not she'll waive her right to speedy trial is still an issue that she cannot decide at this point. And so I think the general timelines, yeah, it does take 2 to 3 years to get a death penalty case to trial, if that's what the state is seeking. And they are complicated cases. And so thinking logistically, Fremont County typically has harsh winters. So I would just not want it set in November, December, January, February, March. Those are typically typical seasons for a lot of traveling if there's witnesses coming back and forth.
Judge, I'd like to respond if I may.
Go ahead.
Judge, I noted that Mr. Daybell's been locked up for a year and a half. Ms. Vallo's been locked up for a couple of years. And with all respect to Mr. Archibald, it's not Mr. Daybell's fault that Mr. Archibald has not started any mitigation process. It's not Mr. Daybell's fault that they may not be able to get their expert witnesses lined up. I would assume for the last several months, that's what they've been doing because they haven't had to file anything else. So they've got 10 months from now to have a trial. And I think that that's more than sufficient time, given the fact that for a year and a half, there's been at least from my perspective, a battle to try to get all of the discovery. Now, if Mr. Wood decides and Ms. Smith and Ms. Blake decide to dump some more discovery, then that'll be an issue that I'll address with the court. But I'm assuming now that after all of this time, that I have all the information that they intend to use in this case. And given that, I can't fathom how Mr. Daybell should be kept in jail for another 2 years, awaiting his opportunity to offer his explanation of this case. And because Mr. Wood doesn't think that he can get ready in that much time. And frankly, he made a representation when I asked for a continuance and waived speedy trial that he was ready for trial. And he's made that representation to this court. Now, if that was an inaccurate statement that Mr. Wood made, that's fine. But he did make that representation in open court, that he was ready for trial. So now if he's saying 2 years later now, because Ms. Vallow's locked up, and he doesn't know what's going to happen with her, and I suspect that's what the reason is. And that's not a legitimate reason to delay it for Mr. Daybell. He wants his trial, and he wants his opportunity to present his case.
All right, thanks, Mr. Pryor. The scheduling of the case is, of course, a matter of discretion for the court, and I've considered the positions laid out here by all sides. Quite honestly, my hope was to have this case tried in 2022. I'd note that while the case at bar here was started in May of this year, it was initially Mr. Daybell was taken into custody and arrested in related case that stemmed first and went into this case, and that occurred back in June of 2020. So that was almost 18 months ago. So even if we looked at a 3-year setting from when he was initially charged, we still wouldn't be to the fall of 2023. And I understand the burden. Well, I won't say I understand it. I've been a prosecutor before, not on a case like this, but I understand it's a huge undertaking, would require a lot of time and preparation, and I want to afford the state that opportunity. But I also have to weigh that against the interests of a defendant to have a timely trial, waiver of speedy time or not. And so in consideration of all of that, I've also done some checking of my own with calendars, coordinating things with Ada County, where this trial is scheduled to occur. And I've determined then that an appropriate time to be looking for trial will be in January of 2023. So that will still provide 14 months of preparation time from now going forward. There's other motions I understand still need to be litigated that could impact things and need to be scheduled as well, in particular the motion to sever. But in terms of setting trial, I do want to get it on the docket. There's a lot of planning that goes involved, a lot of scheduling issues, and I don't want to be looking at the prospect of having to move the trial once it's set. So upon all those considerations then, counsel, I'd ask that you start looking at your calendars right now, and let's see what would be available in terms of a commencement date in the month of January 2023.
And Judge, without permission to speak up, I will make a representation to the court that whenever the court decides to set it in January, February, or March of 23, I will be available for whatever the dates the court decides.
All right. I would propose a starting date of January 9th. So if we started January 9th,
Your Honor, the state's one concern with January is travel back and forth. Mr. Pryor himself has said that our officers can travel back and forth, so that's the position he's taken.
I'm sorry.
That puts us that could very easily put us in a bind. I think even moving it to late February would be a lot more appropriate.
Judge, I think January is going to be fine. We're basically dealing with highway traffic. And having been dealing with this for the last 18 months, traveling between, and quite frankly, visiting with Mr. Daybell quite frequently in the last 18 months, it's not as difficult of an accommodation as it seems to be suggested.
Well, I highly disagree with that.
Okay, that's fine.
Again, it's a speculative issue. Some winters, the interstates are clear all through January. Sometimes it's a nightmare getting from here to Boise. We don't know and can't predict that. It's one factor to consider, but the court would consider that where the trial would be occurring in Ada County, the climate there is much more mild than it is in Fremont County. That alleviates some of that concern. I still would like to consider that start date of January 9th, because then that's going to put us out to, I think it's March. If we wanted 10 weeks, then that would be March 17th or March 24th for an end date. I believe that had put it through March 17th, if I'm counting up all the weeks correctly. Is there any specific objection besides what's been noted in terms of weather or convenience from that setting March 17th as an end date, January 9th to begin?
It's acceptable to the defense of Mr. Daybell, Judge.
We will be ready, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your input on that, counsel. We'll get a scheduling order to that effect. That scheduling order will contain some deadlines for counsel to pay attention to in terms of discovery cutoff, expert witness disclosures, and other matters that are set in accordance with the Idaho criminal rules. So we'll send out a scheduling order on those dates. And while we're talking about scheduling, I mentioned it a little bit previously, but what potentially has some real impact here is the filed but not yet heard motion to sever. And Mr. Pryor, is there any reason why we can't get that on the calendar as well?
We can, Judge, but before we do that, in fact, my preliminary motions as they affect the motion for sever have already been drafted. I had anticipated filing them, but they were going to be filed before this hearing, so the court knew where we were. But I received a response to my motion that's coming up from Mr. Wood's office the other day, just yesterday, Tuesday. And I had to take an opportunity to review that and do the research on his last minute response to my motion. So as far as the motion to sever, Judge, and I'm not submitting argument counsel, any of the counsel, but under Rule 14, before the motion to sever is heard, there is a requirement that the court can impose on the state to provide me statements that they intend to use in regards to Ms. Vallow and Mr. Daybell, and to give me those statements. And it's addressed on the latter part of Rule 14. I was going to file a motion asking the court as to whether or not you're going to require the state to turn that information over to me prior to hearing the motion to sever. And if the court wants a formal hearing on that, we'd have to set that first and then the motion to sever. And then, Judge, that's the way I'm reading the rule. But I would expect the motion to sever can be heard probably within 30 to 45 days, if that's acceptable to the court.
All right, in lieu of setting the hearing on that today, council, just be aware that I do want to get that on the calendar under Rule 14. If you think a preliminary motion is required, Mr. Pryor, file that motion. We
I
can
will
get
do that, Judge.
we get that heard on a shorter time frame, and then we can look at getting the actual motion to sever calendared, and I'll bring that up with council at a later date. I would like to hear that sooner than later, as again, that's going to impact potentially the trial in this case. So,
Judge, if the court wants to set a time for my preliminary motion on the severance per Rule 14 that talks about the statements that both co-defendants would be used by the state against each of them, and the requirement, and it's not, and excuse me, Judge, it's up to the court to decide whether they're going to require the state to provide me those. That's what my preliminary motion would be, and I can have that ready at any time if it's a concern that we need to get the severance issue heard. So if the court wants to set that motion today, I would gladly entertain that and make sure that by either day's end or by tomorrow, I have my my request for that information done promptly to this court. So I'll entertain if the court wants to set a hearing on that right now.
all right. At this point, I'm going to interject for a moment. I think we're getting some feedback. I think it's probably coming from Mr. Means, who's not on mute. Mr. Means, thank you. Council, in terms of a potential hearing date coming up on a motion, we could have either December 22nd or 29th available.
Your Honor, we'd like to see that motion before we agree to a time that we,
Okay.
if we need to respond to it.
Well, they are going to see it, Judge. Today's the 3rd, or excuse me, today's.
Well, I don't have it yet, Mr. Pryor.
You're
Yeah,
right.
Mr.
You'll
Pryor,
get it.
if it hasn't been filed yet, I'm not going to set it for hearing.
Right.
Just pencil on, if you want to get a hearing set, I've got the 22nd and 29th. Get the motion filed, and then we'll look at an appropriate time for a setting once it's
Okay.
filed. But I agree with the state. If it hasn't been filed yet, we don't need to set it for hearing.
Okay.
All right. I think that will conclude then the issues relating to the scheduling of the trial in this case. We've next got a motion, and I understand council would like a sidebar with the court, which will be conducted in the form of what's called a breakout room, where we'll be off, well, we won't be off the record because I'll have the court reporter record what is stated in the breakout room, but we will not be broadcasting that to the public on the YouTube stream. So, Madam Clerk, if you could please set up a breakout room for all council. Then once you see that invite, we'll do that, confirm that it's not being live streamed, and then we will discuss the preliminary issues to that.
Okay, so well, they're on sidebar here in a breakout room. Yeah, you can tell Mark Means is driving. He's listening in on this via phone, so you can tell that he's not muted. It's like, you ass wipe. But anyway, he's even been asked to mute, and he still hasn't muted. So I think they should manually mute him. But yeah, so Woods wanted this trial to start in September of 2023, which is almost 2 years from now. Pryor wants October 2022, which is this coming year. So I guess January 2023 isn't that far off from what John Pryor had wanted. And, you know, you guys, I really have to agree with John Pryor right now. And you don't hear me say that often. But yeah, his client is ready to go. Let's go. I want to go through my trial. I want my trial. The only thing holding them up is Mr. Wood. And I'm sorry, but this is the truth here. He's hoping the longer he puts it off, it gives more time for them to bring Lori back to competency, because he wants these trials done together. That's what I think this is all over with Wood. He doesn't want to have 2 trials. So I think that John Pryor is going to push quickly to get this trial severed. I had said at the beginning, you guys, I didn't think these trials should have been joined. They should have remained severed. They went through all that time and money and fighting and arguing back and forth to join them. And now, just because Lori has been found incompetent,
Apparently I got sent to my own breakout room. I don't know what happened.
you're talking to yourself, woman.
I don't either because it just started putting people in rooms. So I'll move you in there.
Okay.
That's funny. Oops.
And I'm just staying out since I'm screen sharing.
Okay, so where was I now? Yeah, they need to sever this. You can't hold, even though Chad, I think he's totally guilty and he should spend the rest of his life or the death penalty. I agree. They both should. But in all fairness, with working in the legal system, sometimes things aren't the way you would like them, but he is still entitled to his trial. You can't hold up one because the other one has now become incompetent. What happens in 2 years from now? She's still incompetent. They've wasted 2 years for nothing when they should have been ready to go. They should have been ready to go on this case because the defendants are entitled to a speedy trial. They should have been gung-ho and ready to go as soon as they charged him with the first-degree murders and then asked for the death penalty. We had a court date that should have already been in session for Chad. That was put on hold because the crown attorney, the prosecutor, I say crown attorney because that's what they are here. The prosecutor decided to change this to a death penalty case, which then vacated the dates that were already set for the trial. Chad already had a trial date set. So, I mean, yeah, I think Lori's going to milk this as long as she can. I think that they do want the trial separated. I think what's going to happen is they are going to blame each other and Alex because Alex isn't here to defend himself. They're going to blame Alex and then they're going to bring each other. Betty says, well, things happen. No man left behind. So it's like, I'm glad you're home now, sis. Like these trials never should have been joined. I knew from the beginning that that was going to cause a problem, a rift. Shannon says, so 8 lawyers for these two on the state's dime. I do believe that Chad Daybell is still paying for his or part of his. Yeah, Chad is still in jail. So Chad's in a jail cell and Lori's in a cush little psychiatric hospital. I can guarantee you that the food and the rooms and the bed, and she gets to wear her own clothes and, you know, visitors. And so, I mean, I think she's got a lot more privilege where she is than sitting in a jail cell. So Chad's sitting in a jail cell. She's living it a little bit cushier than Chad. Why should Chad be dragged out? Do you think they were waiting on Lori because they were trying to pull it all on her? That could very well be too. I think that Chad is going to put it on Lori and Alex. And I think when Lori's made competent, she's going to try and put it on Alex and Chad. If you go back, you guys, to a reading that I did like way back, I did a past, present, future on Chad and Lori. And it shows in there, it's good. The love nest, it's going to be no more. They're both going to be there in jail. They're both going to be arrested and they're going to flip on each other. That was like a couple of years back. Before anyone was even arrested. This is when I think Lori was still out at the time. They were in Hawaii. So that's how far before anyone was ever arrested in these cases. I did that read. And everything that's in that read is now coming to fruition. Yes, way too much privilege. But I do believe that Wood is trying to put it off as far as he can so he can have them tried together. Sorry, you guys, I muted myself. Yes, they will be coming back, Trisha. They're in a breakout room right now. There's some things that they cannot talk about in public, and because this is being streamed, they're in a breakout room, but yes, they are coming back. So far, you guys, we have a court trial date set for January 9th, 2023. I'm just writing it down. Okay, and I'm also going to write down to watch for Prior to file for sever, because he just said he's going to do that, but we don't have a date yet. I think I was hearing the 22nd or 29th of January of 2022 for that, but it's not set in stone. So I'm going to be watching for that filing for John Prior to file the motion to sever. Not necessarily, Pepsi Girl. Not necessarily. They're both charged with first-degree murder, and they're both they're seeking the death penalty on both. So it does not mean if Chad is found guilty, it's going to be better for the prosecution in Lori's case. But if he's found not guilty, that doesn't change any evidence that they have to show that Lori, especially with the conversations between his brother and the killing of the kids, with her brother, with Melanie, and with her niece and everything. So also I've been hearing in the works that there may be more charges of attempted murder coming in the Brandon Bordeaux shooting when they shot at Brandon Bordeaux. So I think there's some more charges coming too. I agree. So please, you guys, while we are in this breakout room, if you have not smashed that like button, please just leave the live chat for now. Smash that like button, and then you can jump back in on the live chat. Just lets everybody know that. Okay, Sergeant Melinda just messaged me. Melinda. Retired Staff Sergeant Melinda. Just messaged me. Okay, so sorry about that, you guys. I had to read that to see what she was sending over to me. Yeah, one won't get off because the other is guilty or not guilty. They're both going to be facing the evidence against them. Where the heck did that go? Sorry, you guys, my chat is going like crazy. You guys are on slow mode, but in StreamYards, it's just flying. I don't know. Chad's not going to get bail. He's on a death penalty case, and he's facing right now 3 first-degree murders. So there's no way that he's going to be getting bail. Oh, thank you, Leland. I love you. Thank you, Marie. Yeah, but with Barry Morphew, they were saying that the evidence wasn't. I don't get it. I don't even want to get going on the Barry Morphew thing because I'm still livid about that. This is the same judge that signed his arrest warrant. So he knew what was in that arrest warrant and now let him out on bail. the same judge let him out on bail that signed his arrest warrant. Don't even get me started on that one. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, everybody who smashed that like button. Because Rob Wood put up a big stink about it, saying how much extra it's going to cost. But there is going to be, John, they just spoke about that, sis. John Pryor is going to be filing a motion to sever. Yeah, all in good time. Oh, Cindy, it's been, I've been looking at my calendar and having to put dates in, erase them, put dates in. Chad was also supposed to be in court this morning at 9 a.m., but then that was vacated, and I was just about to go live with you guys with it, but then I seen that it was vacated. I didn't get notice prior that it had been vacated, so I'm glad I didn't waste your time this morning. Yeah, I agree, Pepsi. I think they need, I don't like that judge in the Barrymore few. Yeah, so it's like at first when they were talking about trial dates for Barry and for Chad, for the Barrymore few case, and Chad and Lori and Letitia, it's like, oh my God, they're all going to be going on at the same time. How am I going to cover all three? Because that's one thing I promised you guys, that I would cover all of them. If it is going to be streamed, or if we're allowed to stream it, that I was bringing it to you, because I know a lot of you can't get the streams. So I was really starting to pull my hair out there thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to do these? They're all happening going to be happening at the same time. So now the next date that we have coming up is Letitia Stout is back on December 9th. Okay. So I'm going to be live for that one. She's back in court again. That's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. So a day or so beforehand, I will make a thumbnail for that, so you guys can click on the reminder for it. So Letitia's back in court. They're going to be setting a trial date, and there's going to be some other house cleaning that they got to do there, housekeeping. And then the next one after that is December 14th. Barry Morphew is back in court, and I will be covering that one also, and that's at 3 p.m. Eastern. Betty, I will do, like I said, a thumbnail of it and put it up the day before. I'm making a note now. And I'll do the same with the Barry Morphew. I will do the thumb the day before. So, and on that thumb that I post on my community tab on YouTube, you can just click right there, set the reminder right there, and you're good. If you do it that way, you're for sure going to get the notification. You're very welcome. Hello, Gold Star Mom. Just to let you know, you haven't really missed much. There's going to be a lot of arguing coming when they come out of the breakout room. The only thing really that you have missed is the prosecution wanted to set the date for Chad's trial in September 2023, so 2 years from now. And my jaw almost hit the floor. And John Pryor wanted October of 2022. So the date for his trial to start is set for January 9th, 2023. And I will be covering that for you guys. And it's expected to run into March of 2023 for at least 10 weeks. Hello, Nicole. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Betty Smith, Pepsi Girl, everybody coming in. Hello, hello, hello. So that's about all you've missed so far, Gold Star Mom. We are just waiting for them to come back out of the breakout session. And there's a bunch of emotions that they are supposed to be dealing with, but there's an issue that come up that could not be done in the public eye, so they've gone into a breakout room. Breakout room. And you guys also this week, into next week, I've got like my schedule is so messed up. I'm hoping tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow I can get, hang on a sec. I'm just doing it here. Put in the chat for everybody that's here right now. So you're going to make the decision. Which update do you want me to do tomorrow? Updated read. Summer Wells. Suzanne Morphew. Which one? The one that gets the most right here. Put it in chat which one you want me to do. Summer Wells or Suzanne Morphew. And that's the read I will do tomorrow. Put it in chat. The one that gets the most is the one I'm going to do. Put it in chat which one you want, Suzanne or Summer. I will be doing them both, you guys, but I need to know which one to do first. I do have time tomorrow. I've had 2 cancellations tomorrow, so I do have time to do one, and it looks like everybody wants Summer. Okay, so it looks like Summer has got the majority of the votes. So I will be doing an updated read tomorrow on Summer Wells. Let me just set this here. And then the next available time that I have, I will do Suzanne. And I'm looking at my calendar. I know I do have time on Saturday, you guys, but I am going to be hungover. Saturday's my birthday, so I've got my family and everything coming Friday night, and Willow's going to be having some wine. Probably the first time in about 8 months I've drinking any alcohol, so I'm having a feeling that Saturday is not going to be a good day for me. My birthday is probably going to be spent hungover in bed. Well, thank you, Nicole. So I can't promise, but if I'm not too hungover on Saturday, I will do Suzanne's. Oh, Cindy, it is like I will have 2 glasses of wine and I will feel it for a couple days. I can't drink anymore. So that's why I don't do it very often. Thank you, Lady D. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. So thank you, you guys. Enjoy that wine. Yep, I'm going to enjoy it tomorrow night. I will enjoy it. I know this. It's Saturday. My actual birthday is on Saturday. I'm not going to be enjoying my birthday. I know I am going to be laying in bed with my head with ice packs and everything on my head. Each glass do at least a glass equal water. That sounds like a plan. Somebody else had told me that too. Where did that go? Right here, Cat H. Yes, somebody else told me that too. Thank you, everybody, for your well wishes for my birthday. Yeah, AAG said that. Somebody else had told me that too. I think it could have been Mama. Thank you, everybody. She says drink, and she's coming over and she's having like maybe an ounce of wine because she's 71. She doesn't drink at all. So she said she'd have an ounce of wine with me for my birthday. Lynn Summer, thank you for helping on the Michael Morris case. Yes. Michael Morris. Sad, 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 and found exactly where my map showed he would be found. So thank you for that. And thank you, everybody. Yeah, I can see my sister. I'm going to have to turn off my phone because I can see her calling me and banging pots or something to wake me up. Water and aspirin. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, for those of you who have not subscribed to my sister yet, we are anxiously awaiting to be able to get together to go and do some over on her channel. You'll finally get to see me in my elements with my sister doing some haunted places that we're going to explore stateside and in Canada. We're going to be doing a lot of that. She's going to be doing a lot of the spirit box, and I hear them coming back. So if they come back, I will go back to full screen for you guys. Yes, Pepsi Girl. And I believe if you look at her place, I said this, I think, in one of my comments earlier. I believe if you look where their house is on the hill, if you look up away from the main road where Ben Hill comes off of the main road, okay, they have that little creek and everything that they own there. If you, when you get up to their house on the top, if you would keep going up Ben Hill Road past their house, that road, it comes to a dead end. You have to turn either right or left. I feel she's going to be found just off of that road over by where all them junk cars are. Not the junk cars that are on the Wells property. It's up. If you continue on Ben Hill Road up past the Wells place, it comes to another road. And it's good. Her remains are going to be found off of that road in the bush. That's where I believe she is. Near where that junkyard, it looks like there's a little cabin or something there, and it has a whole bunch of junk cars around it. Whatever that road is there, she's going to be found not too far off of that road. I did do a map of it. I think it's on in my community tab on YouTube. Thank you, Shannon. Yeah, so go on over there and give her a like and subscribe to her. And you guys are going to be able to see me and her doing a lot of investigative work with all her equipment that she has. And also there's a place near me here. It's one of the oldest jails in Canada. It's about a 40-minute drive from Ottawa, right down along the St. Lawrence River. It's the oldest jail in Canada. And it closed down, I believe, in 2009 or something. I know people there that also work there that can get us in to do a night session by ourselves. Thank you, you guys, for the birthday wishes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to get her in there too. No, it's not Kingston. It's Cornwall. I'd love to go through Kingston Pen, but right now we can't get in there. Kingston is quite far from me here in Ottawa. Cornwall is about a 40-minute drive from Ottawa, and it's right along the Canada-US border, along the St. Lawrence River. So I want to bring her there too, to that jail that's there. A lot of TAPS was there. There was something paranormal was also there. But my sister has tons of equipment, you guys, tons. So I want to bring her around to all the places. There's a couple places here in Ottawa that I want to take her to. Yeah, and if we can get my sister up to over 500 subscribers, then she can go live and do, we can do spirit bot sessions and stuff. But we need to get her up over 500 subscribers. Oh, thank you, Leland. Also, too, there's Shelly, another subscriber. She's from the UK. She gave me very little information. She said, look at my brother's wife took off with the 2 kids and is threatening to kill herself. They were scared she was going to kill the kids. This is somewhere in the UK. And I think they were in Sussex or something like that. And she says, Willow, is there anything you can do? Like, please help us, help us. Within 2 hours, I looked at my map where they were living in Sussex, and I was drawn to a place. And on the map, it didn't look like it was that far away, but apparently it was. It was quite far from where they were living in Sussex. And I told her, I said, look at, by the cards that I did, they're in, it's not a hotel. It's like a timeshare almost. And it's shaped almost like in a horseshoe, but instead of coming up around, it's like it's got wings out. There's a main building in the middle with a wing on each end that kind of goes 90 degrees up. I said it's going to have big statues there. I told them, and I'm getting the name Chester of the place. And I said, it's going to be by the sea. And the reason how I got that is when I asked my ancestors, please tell me where she took these kids. Where did she take them? And I got Chester C, which is one of my favorite male singers is Chester C. So when she went and she says, oh my God, Willow, there's a place named Chester and it's by the sea. So she started looking up for all these like bed and breakfast type things or timeshares in that area with the description of the building that I showed her. And lo and behold, they found his wife and the kids. The police had been looking, trying to follow leads and everything, could not find them. I found them. And luckily they were able to get the police there and to get the kids to safety. And she is a subscriber on here. She's in here a lot of the time. So she's made quite a bit of posts in the comment section of my videos, letting you know. And like, I didn't know this lady. This is when I was first starting out. Didn't know this lady from nowhere. I had never been to the UK. It's outside of like Cuba, the Dominican, the US and Canada. I've never been outside of those places. So I had no idea. So to find those kids in Chester, it was, I had goosebumps from top to bottom. Okay, Leland, you take care, my darling. Please check in with us. Let us know that you're all right. You go take care of yourself. Go get some rest. Know that we all love you and we are praying for you. Mwah! Big kisses to you, Leland. Kimberly says no sympathy. No sympathy for what, Kimberly? No sympathy for what, Kimberly? Thank you, Mimi. Is Kimberly still in here? Because Kimberly said no sympathy. I'd like to know what she's talking about there. My merch store is pinned to the top of chat. And this has taken a while, you guys, in this breakout session. But yes, Kimberly, I would like to know what you mean by no sympathy. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's what I would like to know too. Because if it's what I think she was saying no sympathy for, I'm not impressed. And she doesn't seem to be answering. So if you can remove the comment, Des, please. Or Cindy or whoever. Oh, me too, sweet Sherry. So we just make it birthday week. Yes, and for those of you, it's a 15% off today only for any merch that you purchase today. Holiday 15. If you use that promo code at checkout, you will get 15% off. Thank you, sis. I can't imagine what is taking so long, but don't mind me, you guys. I'm just scrolling the chat. CC, we don't use that language in here, please, and thank you. If they do that again, please remove them. I agree, Shannon. It does seem that like I've said earlier, I have to agree with John Pryor today. Wood wanted it in September of 2023, and that's just ridiculous. So I do have to take the side of Mr. Pryor today, even though I do not like the client and everything else. Like, he's still entitled to a timely trial, and to be held up because Lori is still incompetent is not right. I'm going to stand with you on that, Chris. Whatever's taking this breakout session so long, I'm going to agree with you there. It's probably him doing something. Well, thank you, good grandma, and happy birthday to you a little earlier. I will probably, hopefully, see you again before then. I will be going now. I'm supposed to be doing the members only live on Saturday. If I don't do it Saturday, you guys, because Saturday is my birthday, and if I'm that hungover on Saturday and I can't do it, I will do it on Monday. Where if you are a level 2 member, there's giveaways, there's free reads given away, there's reads done on the spot. It's whatever I choose to do that day, but it's always going to be something good. So if I don't do it on Saturday, I will be doing it on Monday for the level 2 members. And then Sunday, we will be having our mini reads as usual. Oh, Summer. Yes, we want the trial date as soon as possible. Lady says Monday's great. That's only if I'm really hungover. If not, I will try and do it on Saturday, but I'm thinking that Saturday's not going to be a good day. It's going to be a birthday I never forget, but I may be spending it in bed with a headache. Keta would like the link to your channel, Des. Can you please post your link? It will be at around between 11 and 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Oh, I hear movement, you guys. Here we go. We're back. So I'm going to mute so you guys can hear everything.
All right, Madam Clerk, are you ready?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, we are ready.
Okay, thank you. Is the court reporter ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We're back on the record on this case, State versus Daybell. We had a discussion with the court reporter, but not live streamed. Based on the content of a lot of that discussion, the court does find grounds for closing and sealing that portion of the proceedings based on the fact that the discussion in large part entailed issues related to the competency and treatment of the co-defendant, Ms. Fallow Daybell, in case CR 2221-1623. I would note that all counsel were present for that hearing, section of the hearing, including her counsel, Mr. Archibald and Mr. Means. So the court does order the sealing of that part of the record of these proceedings. What we got to were the issues raised in these motions that were filed. In the companion case that I just mentioned, 1623, Mr. Means filed a motion on October 27th. And then as a response partially to that motion, the defendant here today, Mr. Daybell, and his counsel filed their motion on November 5th, titled "The Motion for Discovery Concerning Events That Were Revealed in Lori Vallow's Motion," dated October 27th, 2021. There was a hearing scheduled on the matter today. After discussion with counsel, the courts determined that it's not yet a ripe issue to bring before the court for several reasons. One, and chief among them, is the fact that additional facts were submitted in the form of an affidavit in the 1623 case, to which Mr. Pryor has not been made privy because that was a sealed affidavit. That was filed at the request of the Department of Health and Welfare through counsel. The court would note that that counsel is not here and available for the hearing today, and there's a few questions that need to be determined. Number one, the question of whether or not the stay in effect in the 1623 case pursuant to Idaho Code 18211 and 18212 would prohibit a hearing on the issue. And I have to do some research and determine whether or not it's appropriate to have a hearing in that case based on the stay being in effect. The second issue then would be whether or not the information disclosed through that affidavit should be revealed on a limited basis to Mr. Pryor and his client as it relates directly to their motion. And I'm not going to make that determination until I've had an opportunity to receive the Department of Health and Welfare's thoughts on that through their counsel that filed the pleadings. So we're going to need to continue this hearing to sort through those issues and allow additional counsel from the Department of Health and Welfare to be involved. The court will consider the matter under advisement, understanding the objections that have been raised by both defendants, and go through the issues of both the stay and the involvement of the Department of Health and Welfare. At such point, we would likely have another hearing scheduled that would join the two motions to a single hearing for efficiency purposes. We don't have the capability currently of setting that hearing for today until I get through the other issues about the stay. So with that in mind, then the court is going to vacate today's hearing on that motion. It'll be continued to a later date to be determined by the court with assistance of counsel and looking at their calendars. So I believe that's where we're left for the day. Mr. Pryor, it was your motion I was just discussing. Do you have any questions or anything else you need to raise before we conclude this afternoon?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you for the explanation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pryor. Mr. Wood and Ms. Blake, do you have anything?
Nothing further on this today, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think that will conclude the matters that were scheduled for today's hearing. Then we'll get together with counsel to determine a future date for the next hearing. And again, we'll set forth the scheduling order will be filed in the case as well. So I appreciate everyone's attendance today. That will conclude the hearing and we'll be in recess.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Well then, so there's, okay, we're gonna stop. Okay, so there's a motion that was filed by John Pryor. And I don't know what that motion is because they've sealed it. That's why I didn't see it. But there's some kind of motion and they want to have child services involved for some reason. What can that entail? Are they going to say that there's others that had knowledge or were involved in this and they have children that could be at risk? I don't know, because they did it behind closed doors. That would also explain why it was a closed hearing, because stuff like that regarding kids, I don't know. I don't know what that's all about yet. I have to rewatch it because I was paying more attention to the chat than I was with what they were saying. I'm going to have to go over what he just said again and try and get a take on what this could be about. And I'm thinking that too, Lady of Angels, regarding Melanie Pawlowski. If Melanie Pawlowski, Betty, is somehow attached to this and has gotten some kind of immunity to talk, they could be saying that her kids are at risk. I don't know. Let me rewatch that part and watch my community tab on YouTube, and I will post what after listening to it uninterrupted, and I will give my take on what I think that could be about. But I do know that Mark Means also had motions that he wanted heard today. Now, those motions are what I put up on the screen about somebody. He said somebody from the hospital talked to her and said she should call the LDS church and talk to a lawyer there and get Mark Means off the case because he's not good enough for her. That she should be calling the LDS church and talking to the lawyer there. She did that. And when she called the LDS church, they put her with the head honcho of the legal team for LDS church. Sorry for the coffee, guys. He had a conversation with Lori. Once he hung up with Lori, because he's not retained as her lawyer, once he had finished that conversation with Lori, he then got on the phone to Mr. Wood and said, hey, Mr. Wood, guess what? This is what Lori said to me. So now now Mark Means, from what I've got, I wasn't able to go over. I've just been so busy, you guys. I wasn't able to go over a lot of the filings that have been filed in this case. And it's getting kind of ridiculous anyway, but there was a filing that said that he wants the health and welfare where Lori's being treated, he wants them removed from the case. And he also wants Rob Wood removed from the case. But they've done this all in private because they were talking about Lori's mental health. So that was part of it there too. But this child services things, I only caught bits and pieces of it, you guys, because I was paying attention to you in chat. I'm going to have to re-listen to it, and then I will give you my thoughts on that. If I can make heads or tails of it, what that could possibly entail. But I know that there was a big one there where Mark Means wanted the Department of Mental Health or whatever, wherever Lori is, he wanted them removed from the case and not be able to testify about anything. And he also wanted Rob Wood and anybody else who was told about that conversation that Lori had removed also. So that's what I believe that they're going to have another hearing on. Now, getting to the other part where they mentioned child services, I don't know, because I should have been paying attention, but I wasn't. Watch my community tab, you guys, and I will put in there once I've re-listened to it what I think that could be about. Yeah, Rob was livid. You could. This is the second time they're going to try and get him off the case. Okay, sister. Okay, my sister. I'm going to be wrapping this up anyway because it is now going on 4:30 here. So I'm going to be getting the rest of my wrapping done. Try to get that done while I've got food in the oven. So with that, you guys, I'm just reading some of the comments to see if I missed any questions here. Yeah, the LDS does know she's crazy. Yes. Lady of Angels, yes. Not only Rob Wood, they want the facility that is dealing with Lori, they want them banned from any court proceedings also. Yeah, I'm thinking that it has something to do with Melanie. Yeah, Lori knows exactly what she's doing. Very welcome, Terry. And thank you for whoever that was that did the super sticker. I couldn't put it up on screen because I jumped over to the other YouTube stream, so I couldn't put it up on screen. But whoever that was, I'm sorry, but thank you. Build up to Friday night. That would be, I have actually family out in Alberta. That would be interesting. Yes, my sister's going crazy on the fleece blankets. Thank you, sister. Yes, and thank you for the birthday wishes. I'd like to say, Summer Dawn, that I'll have a drink for you, but I think when I have my first drink, I'll be out for the count. You're very welcome, Lady D. Yeah, Lori is manipulating the system bad. Thank you, Shannon. There's a link to my sister's channel for all you guys. Please go over, give her a subscribe. And once we get her to 500 subscribers, she's almost there, you guys. We can start doing spirit box sessions and everything over on her channel. It's not something I do here, but we can do that over on her channel. But I will surely let you guys know here for any of you that would like to go over and watch that over there, that I will make a post about it. Thank you. I appreciate it, Vera. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Yum. Yum diddly dum. I love that name. Thank you, Kata. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Generally, when me and my sister do the spirit box together, she does it and we can be on split screen. And what I do is I put a set of headphones on. So, and then what I do is I just say out what I'm hearing. And I also let my sister know when she needs to shut things down and clear out spirit, because sometimes there's spirits that try to come through that we don't want there. So we work pretty well together on that. So thank you for everybody that's gone over there and given her a sub. That's something that you can all look forward to, and we can look forward to it too. I'm trying to find that super chat to see if I can put it up. Whoever made it, because now I feel bad. And I can only go so far back in the chat. Ugh. Does anybody know who did that super chat or sticker? Did anybody see it that's still here? So I can give them the proper thank you. I'm trying to, no, it won't let me go back far enough. Whoever it is, I'm sorry. Thank you, Country Girl Life. Can you scroll back, sis, and see who did that super sticker so I can put it up on the screen, or at least thank them properly? Oh, I'm on StreamYards and I can't scroll up far enough. One blessed Mama Mo says, DDD, come on over and I'll take his girls out for a couple beers. Yeah, that's about all I could handle. Thank you, Vera Ray. Thank you. Yeah, I can't go back far enough either. Ugh. Thank you for trying, Cindy. My sister too. Well, whoever it was, thank you. I'm sorry. I missed it. Okay, so you guys, I'm going to close this up for now. And if anything else does pop off, you know that I will be back. The next time we are going to be going live is on the 9th. And that is going to be for Letitia Stout. Above me on Ancestor, I can't scroll back. Yeah, I can't scroll back. So whoever it was, just please forgive me. I appreciate you. I'm sorry. Yeah, so the next one is going to be December 9th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Wiley Doodle. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, P. Back row from Italy. Oh my gosh, welcome, Italy. Thank you for joining in. That's all for now, Lady of Angels. Thank you for joining in. Okay, so I'm going to get offline now, but I will see you guys all back. I'll be doing the Summerwell's updated read tomorrow. Watch for that on my channel, so make sure you're subscribed. Hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're made aware when that goes public. And the next live that we have for court coverage is Letitia Stout, 3:30 p.m. December 9th, and that's 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh, thank you for trying, you guys. Okay, so until the next time, you guys, please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. I love you to the moon and back. Thank you to my moderators for being here and keeping things running smoothly. And thank you to each and every one of you. I appreciate you. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, till next time, you guys. Bye-bye for now.